Start cooking at 4 a.m., my mother-in-law ordered, shoving the guest list into my hands as if I were her servant. And make sure everything is perfect this time, my husband added, his voice flat, careless. I smiled. Of course. But at 3 a.m., I wasn't chopping onions or kneading dough. I was at the airport, boarding a flight with a one-way ticket in my pocket. 30 hungry relatives would soon arrive to find an empty kitchen, and by then, I'd be gone. I still remember the first time I met him. He was gentle then, charming in a way that made me believe safety could exist in human form. I was naive enough to think love was protection. His mother welcomed me with tight hugs, promises of family. Back then, I thought I had stepped into something permanent, a home built of people, not walls. But homes rot quietly before they collapse. The first cracks showed in whispers. His phone, always turned face down. Late nights at work that ended with the smell of perfume he swore I imagined. His mother's sudden scrutiny. Every dish I cooked, every shirt I folded, never good enough. Small humiliations disguised as advice. I ignored them at first. You learn to silence yourself in a marriage built on appearances. But silence is fragile. It shatters the first time you find proof. Mine came in a single message. Her name glowed on his screen, accompanied by a picture I'll never unsee. Him, half-dressed, in the kitchen I slaved in, cooking for her what he never once cooked for me. That was the moment love died. Not suddenly, but like a candle suffocating under glass. I didn't scream. I didn't throw plates or demand explanations. Rage would have given them the satisfaction of seeing me broken. Instead, I nodded silently at his lies, and I played my part. The dutiful wife, the obedient daughter-in-law. I knew exactly what I was doing. I began watching, listening, collecting. His spending habits, his passwords, the secret bank account he thought I'd never find. Every cruel word from his mother, every time she reminded me that I was lucky he married me. I wrote it all down, every sin documented like evidence in a trial, because that's what it became, a trial, and I was both witness and judge. The plan didn't arrive overnight. It sharpened slowly, like a knife against stone. I learned patience. I learned how to smile while I gutted them silently. My goal wasn't just to leave. It was to leave in such a way that they'd choke on the emptiness I left behind. So when she handed me that guest list, dripping with arrogance, I knew it was time. 30 relatives, arriving from different cities, expecting a feast that would showcase her son's perfect household. She gave me the list, and he gave me the order. They thought they controlled me. But control is a dangerous illusion. At 3 a.m., while they slept, I slipped from the house with one suitcase, my documents, and a bank account that no longer belonged to him. Every dollar he thought he'd hidden was already transferred. The joint account? Emptied. The secret one? Mine. Even the house? Half mine by law, soon to be fully sold by court order. I left no note, no explanation, only silence. At 9 a.m., the doorbell rang. 30 guests, all arriving hungry, expectant, chattering about the grand breakfast they'd been promised. They filed into a spotless kitchen, not a single pan on the stove, not a crumb on the counter. My mother-in-law searched, frantic, her shrill voice echoing through empty cupboards. My husband's phone rang, unanswered. They had to serve their guests humiliation instead of food. Meanwhile, I was sipping coffee at the airport lounge, watching planes taxi across the runway, waiting for my flight to be called. Freedom tasted like bitter espresso and the absence of their voices. But revenge wasn't just abandonment, it was exposure. By the time they realized I was gone, my lawyer had already filed. Adultery evidence submitted, financial records attached. His colleagues would read every sordid detail in documents made public by court filings. His reputation burned. His mother's precious image of a perfect family shattered. And the best part? I hadn't raised my voice once. Not a single curse, not a single tear shed in front of them. Only a smile, a nod, and then silence. That silence would haunt them louder than any scream. When the divorce papers were finally served, I was already across the ocean. Keys to a small apartment in my hand, a new life beginning. He tried calling. Dozens of missed calls, voicemails thick with panic, then anger, then desperation. I never listened past the first few seconds. His voice was nothing to me now. I think of that morning sometimes, the moment 30 mouths opened in shock at an empty kitchen, the scramble, the shame, the gossip that must have followed. That was the first crack in the facade. From there, it all collapsed. And me? I didn't collapse. I rebuilt. Quietly, on my own terms. They wanted a servant. They wanted obedience. They got a ghost instead. A ghost who left them hungry. A ghost who made sure every bite of the life they tried to feed me turned to ash in their mouths. I don't regret a single move. Because revenge isn't fire. It isn't chaos. It's silence. It's absence. It's 30 hungry relatives staring at empty plates while the woman they underestimated finally walks free. And that's exactly what I am now. Free.